numbers. I mean, I'd say Salah definitely, KDB, and probably Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, they're the three players. I mean, if you ask me which players, I think them three players I'd pick that would just be in my team no matter what, like for the duration of the season. Obviously, unless they got injured. But I mean, these players are just, will get you points in any game at any given time, and it's just too risky to hop off them, in my opinion.
Do you feel Trent's in the same boat as KDB this season, and it's just a matter of time because he's had a slow start?
He has, yeah, but I mean, it's been a crazy start all around, and I don't think this kind of rate of scoring and upsets is going to continue.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, I would say definitely. I mean, I think without a doubt he's going to be the top scoring defender. Robbo might run him close this year. Actually, he's looking great this season as well. But I think Trent will still win. He's just got that goal threat. He's got top-notch set pieces. Can score. So I'm not really kind of worried about him not living up to past seasons. I still think he's a top asset.
You rate he's worth the extra 0.5 over Robbo?
If you asked me that at the start of the season, I'd say yeah. But now, honestly, I would say I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you look at Robbo's, his underlying stats, from game week 30, it was actually from since Project Restart, when the football restarted in game week 30, where he just his numbers just kind of went through the roof. Really, he was getting in more goal scoring positions, more crosses, start taking corners as well now. So yeah, it's not something I would have recommended at the start of the season. But if you were to go Robbo over TA now, I'd probably just say yeah. It could work because he has, and it's not. I tend to look at kind of like longer, long periods, like long samples rather than short samples, like 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
And it's clear that Robbo's kind of, it's not like a little purple patch he's going through. He's actually upped his game, attacking wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sound advice. Fellas, over to you, mate. I think you had a few questions you wanted to ask.
Thank you very much, MVD. Yeah, so just a few questions, very much on my mind as I'm doing my Wildie right now as well. I'd love to pick your brains. What is your go-to formation, specifically for this year, but in general, do you kind of stick to a specific game formation?
Yeah, generally, most seasons I'd play 3-4-3 or a 3. 3-4-3 is the go-to formation for me, and then obviously from that maybe a 3-5-2. But I think this season, I think 3-4-3 is. I think there's an argument made for both 3-4-3 and 3-5-2 this season, just because of how many awesome midfield options there are. You've got Son, Salah, KDB, Rodriguez.
Yeah.
You've got Mane, you've got Sterling, you've got so many options there. Then you've got the Chelsea midfield, Pulisic, Ziyech, they're still to come, and Havertz. I think these guys will pick up. So, yeah, I think. At the same time, there's so many forward options this season as well. Like kind of budget price options, like Calvert-Lewin's been smashing it. Bamford, players like that. So yeah, I say 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, and I think this season, if I was on a wild card, I think I'd be really tempted to go for a 3-5-2, just because of Brewster, who's moved to Sheffield United, and he's a 4.5 forward.
Good cheap option, right?
Yeah, he totally opens that 3-5-2 formation up. Because
like you say, and there's just so many good midfielders this year, with Aubameyang going into midfield as well.
Exactly that as well, yeah.
Role position, it's kind of hard, I'm kind of thinking that's along the same lines. So it's good to hear that, because that's pretty much what I'm going for this weekend. On top of that, if you're not on your wild card, do you ever think it's really ever worth, taking a points hit and doing an extra transfer?
Yeah, definitely. If you need to take a hit, I would recommend it. Obviously, with me personally, I very rarely take hits. Last season, I only took 2.4, like 2 -4 hits, so 8 points in total last season.
That's amazing.
So I'm really hit averse, but obviously when the situation arises, if you've got injured players, or if you're bringing in a player who you're kind of captain, that kind of is more
kind of worst case scenario, kind of unless you're forced into it.
Yeah. I mean, like for example, I mean, last game week, I had Podence and Son, and obviously Son was a major doubt, and Podence was a doubt as well. And I only had I had Basuma on the bench, Ayling and Mitchell, who all had hard fixtures, and rather than make a transfer, I saved just because I just didn't see any any options I liked for Son. Yeah. Didn't think it was worth getting rid of Podence. So I thought having 2 or 3 transfers over the international break would be more beneficial, and it worked out great. Son obviously smashed it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of managers. I mean, I think
a lot of us were victims to that. Myself, including a few of us on the podcast team. That was a shame because the whole game, it was a hamstring as well. So normally with hamstrings, you think, right, there's definitely no way he's going to be playing, but then comes one of the top scorers of the game week. So
exactly. I think a lot of people got rid of him early. I mean, I tend to make my transfers obviously later in the game week. Later in the week, but obviously, I mean, if you've heard him Mourinho say, he's got a hamstring injury. I mean, I don't condone early transfers, but I wouldn't blame people who do make early transfers for taking him out, because obviously, as you said, a hamstring injury, it's usually 3 to 4 weeks minimum. Yeah. So I think obviously Jose was telling Portuguese there, but
the other thing is, right, this season you've got to do it later because of COVID as well. You saw what happened. And that's difficult. But I've got a feeling that, and I don't know how founded this is, I just feel the best managers don't take minus hits. I might be wrong, there might be people out there, but I just feel like it saves you a lot of points at the end of the season if you don't take it.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of top most of the top managers I know don't take a lot of points hits. There's a few obviously who kind of play a different way, and it works for them. I mean, the thing is, you've got to kind of find what kind of, you've got to kind of go with what your style is and the way you play. Really, I mean, I'm really kind of hit averse, so taking hits for me just wouldn't work out. But I mean, if you've got the knack of finding little pockets of opportunity and getting the right players at the right time, then it could work for you. But I mean, you're always you're always really the underdog because you're always taking that. You're always starting at -4. You're always starting with minus points. So
high risk, high reward, but
it's high risk, high reward.
Backfire, right?
Yeah.
And along the lines of kind of consistency, right? Because we're talking about maybe looking at 3 or 4 game weeks out in advance. Would you do the same with your captain? Would you kind of just set and forget and just trust that they're going to get points over, let's say, 4 or 5 weeks, or would you just literally just flip flop throughout each week?
No, I don't think I would. I mean, I have actually thought of that strategy of just having a set and forget captain, but. No, I mean, I usually play the fixtures, but I'll only have maybe 2 or 3 players that I'll captain. So, for example, in my team right now, I've got the only players I'd consider, as a captain options would be Salah, De Bruyne, and Son. So, I mean, I've got players like Werner, Ings, I've got Alexander-Arnold, but I'd never ever think about captaining these players. When I've got Salah, De Bruyne, and Son there, because I mean they're just premium assets, and they'll score a lot more often than these players. So what I usually look at is look at my premium players and see who's got the best fixture really. And if I'm stuck even between them, I'll just have a look at the captain's poll and probably pick whoever's top of the captain's poll really, just to make a decision. But yeah, I mean that's how I play my captains, really.
It makes sense. And I have to ask, I heard you mention Werner there. Will you be keeping hold of Werner? I'd love to kind of know, because a lot of people, obviously, I think he's the most transferred out right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Are you giving up on him, or are you thinking of keeping hold of him?
No, I'm most likely keeping him. I just think, I mean, I know players are transferring him out, and he's dropping in price, but the same thing happened with Son. 2 game weeks in a row, and he smashed it. Again, this goes back to what I was saying before about being patient with good players. I mean, Werner is an elite striker. If you look at his scoring record in Germany, he's got phenomenal numbers, not only in scoring but assists as well. And Pulisic and Ziyech are back. Well, I mean, Pulisic I think definitely will be back game week 5, and Ziyech looks to be fit as well because he played for Morocco. So these players will be back, and I think he's got that extra service there. So yeah, I'll most likely probably 95% chance of keeping him because he's a good player and he's got a good fixture. As simple as that.
Great shout. I think a lot of FPL managers would be, I'd love to hear that tip as well. So thanks for that. And just a last question from myself before I hand it back to Jimmy. Have you used your wild card yet? And if not, when do you think is the best time to use it?
No, I haven't used my wild card yet. This season, I mean, in past seasons, non-COVID seasons, I'll usually use it quite early, probably during the first international break or the second international break. But this season, I'm definitely keeping it, and I'm hopefully planning to keep it, for the game week. I think it's game week 18-19 where there's that weird half game week where there's going to be blanks and doubles.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. Because this season we've got only up until game week 16 to use the first wild card, so I'll hopefully be setting myself up, using it in game week 16, setting myself up for for that blank and double game week period in game week 18-19.
Very good, very good. Yeah. Thank you very much, FPL Salah, and I think I'll hand it back to Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you. That's solid advice on the wildcard, FPL Salah. First, I've heard of that, so thanks for that. Quick one in the same instance on the wildcard. Have you used your bench boost? And if not, when do you reckon is the best time for that one?
No, I haven't used my bench boost. I usually use my chips in the double game weeks.
Uh-huh.
So I think, for the past few, since the bench boost chip been introduced, I've used it every single season in a double game week, and it's worked out well every single season for me. Been quite fortunate, some weeks as well. But if it's not broke, then don't fix it. So I'll use it most likely in double game week this season as well.
And I presume that'd be the same for your triple captain.
Yeah. Triple captain. I'm planning to use it in a double game week, but I'm quite open to using that in a single game week as well. If I feel like maybe there's not an attractive fixture in the double game weeks. But generally, you get 2 bites at the cherry. So double game week.
Yeah. And there are sometimes with the old triple, you can just get it right, can't you? Well, we saw like Son or Kane the other week, or there was
exactly
where Aguero got 5 in a match.
Exactly. Yeah. So
last season would have been blinding.
Yeah, the 4 goals.
Norwich.
Yeah.
You should have told us if you were a Hammers fan. All right, great stuff. And then this is an interesting one though. The free hit. I think the free hit's slightly different. Some people use it when there's only 8 teams playing. Some people hold on for a double game week. What's your advice for the fans out there, FPL Salah, for the free hit?
Yeah, again, free hit I usually use in a blank game week. Obviously, last game week because of the kind of delay in the football, I used it in game week 38 because there was no blank game weeks when they were supposed to be. In game week 34, but again, I found using it in a blank game week is ideal because, planning transfers, for a blank game week can be quite detrimental to your team most of the time because you might have to get rid of players who are premium players like Salah and KDB, just depending how the fixtures fall. So I think it's always safer and more optimal just to save the free hit for a blank game week. Yeah, again, I'll probably be doing the same again this season.
Yeah, that's good. And to your point, last season, COVID sort of messed us up at the end because I was holding on for that. I was about to soar to the top of our table and then COVID came. I was to the bottom. where it went wrong for us. Do you think COVID's going to mess